Hey everybody, I'm Jordan Garza and welcome back to Unredacted. And I'm gonna start this one off with a bit of a hot take. So I've been sitting up this week with my feet kicked up, just laughing, watching the House of Representatives debacle. I mean, it's been mildly entertaining. I'm sorry. Now, well, hold on, let me explain that though. So that's just because Kevin McCarthy has lost for the ninth time as the time of this recording. I mean, it's unheard of. I think it's back in 1860 was the last time that was something that actually happened. 9 times McCarthy has failed, and just a little bonus, Trump actually got one vote in the eighth vote, I believe. I don't know about the ninth. I didn't check that yet. We'll have to get to that. But so yeah, it's been very entertaining. Now, Jordan, why are you up against McCarthy? He's the Republican representative. McCarthy called Trump a Russian plant. He has actively worked against Trump throughout his 2020 administration. So no, you get no sympathy from me, McCarthy. I'm happy that these Trump candidates or the MAGA candidates, whatever, are saying, no, we're not going to vote for you just because you're the guy they put up there. I mean, he's establishment. He's a swamp monster. He has been in government for as long as I can remember, and he's never done anything that, screamed, hey, this is the guy you want in charge. It's kind of a buffoon. But anyway, let's get on to it. So CBS News is actually, I think they're still live. Let me check. Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, so oh wow, hold on, messing up here. There we go. Yeah, CBS News is still live, and it looks like they're maybe doing another account. Let me see. I don't think I have audio on this. Let's see here. Hold on.
Jeffries.
Yeah, they're doing
Garcia
another
of
account.
Texas.
So maybe by the time I'm done recording,
Jeffries.
they will have a 10th decision. But so McCarthy loses 9th round of voting as speaker election becomes the longest since 1860. So the House failed to elect a speaker for the 9th time in 3 days on Thursday, which GOP Rep. Kevin McCarthy of California, I didn't know he's from California, again stymied by conservative faction that vehemently opposes his candidacy. And we'll get into the exact the factions that are actually blocking this vote. Half of them have a very solid political strategy, and the other half just don't want Kevin McCarthy as a speaker. Now, I can respect the fact that you just say, I'm not going to vote for this guy because I don't want him in charge. But you start getting close to running the risk of what's called a polarity vote. And when you get the polarity vote, it means that you're gone with this 218. That's the magic number you need to get the Speaker of the House. You're gone with 218, and now you're just moving into, it's going to be a majority vote. And if you look at the past 9 votes, the Democrats have technically won the majority vote every single time. Now, I think it was with Jim Jeffries. I think it's been Jeffries every time. I'm not 100% positive. But every time, the Democrats have won the majority vote. So you do not want to run the risk of going to this polarity vote where now Republican representatives have to make the decision, okay, I'm either going to have to vote with McCarthy or I run the risk of the Democrats taking over the Speaker of the House position. So that's one thing you need. I'm a bit worried about with this prolonged, voting process, but it's still really funny. And I'm sorry. I just hate McCarthy. He's just horrible. Anyway, let's get back to it. So the prolonged fight, which makes the longest battle for the gavel since 1860, which required a 44 ballot to determine a winner. That's interesting. McCarthy made 2 key concessions to the 21 conservatives holdouts on Wednesday, but none of them supported him in the 3 rounds of voting that took place over the course of more than 5 hours on Thursday, with 433 members voting a majority of 217, sorry, I said 218, of votes were needed to secure the Speaker's gavel, meaning McCarthy would only afford a handful of defections without the House GOP's thin majority. Now, again, that's another issue of, the Republican Party just didn't do a good enough job of getting more seats in the House. So now you run into this very slim majority, and you're essentially stuck in a limbo until you get somebody to make a move. So continuing impasse leaves the House effectively in limbo, since lawmakers must first elect a speaker before moving on to other business in the new Congress. McCarthy's conservative critics say he can't be trusted to lead the House GOP and have largely thrown their support behind Rep. Brian Donalds from Florida. Former President Donald Trump and GOP Rep. Kevin Hern also received a vote. See, I told you. I think Trump got 1, which I'm sorry, it's funny. Democrats, meanwhile, have remained united behind the New York Rep. Hakeem Jeffries, the first black party leader in either chamber of Congress. Jeffrey and his lieutenant said Democrats are united and committed to staying in Washington for as long as it takes to get Congress organized. Yeah, they're committed because it's fun. I'm sure on their end, it's hilarious to watch the Republicans just destroy themselves, and they're hoping for a miracle to be able to steal the Speaker of the House, which maybe isn't a miracle. It's actually somewhat probable at this point because it's getting very close to when someone's going to go, okay, enough is enough. We're going to a polarity vote because we have to get the new Congress in gear. So let's see this. Oh, this is from 3 minutes ago. House begins vote on the 10th ballot. So this up here going on is the 10th ballot. Oh my God. So the most since before the Civil War, and some say that this could be, somewhat of an indicator that we're moving back in that direction, but I hope not. So as the sun sets in Washington, D.C., the House moved on a 10th ballot, making the longest speaker election since before the Civil War. GOP Rep elect Juan Casomi of Arizona, his children seated near him, stood to nominate McCarthy. Everyone in the chamber understands we need to serve our constituents, Somani said. Kevin understands this as well as anyone. Okay, yeah, if your constituents are the super donors that you're working for. So we can move down a little bit. This is just him, articulating his thoughts about why he wanted to nominate McCarthy, and this is pretty much just his reasoning for that. So in the prior rounds, none of the candidates' speaker garnered the simple majority vote needed to claim the gavel. McCarthy received 200 votes, while Jeffries received 212. The block of the 20 McCarthy detractors split, with 17 backing Donalds, 3 voting for Hearn, and Gates switched his vote from Trump to Hearn on the 9th ballot. Okay, so Trump didn't get one on the 9th ballot, whatever. Despite being nominated for the speakership, Hearn cast a vote for McCarthy. Sparks again voted present. One McCarthy backer, Rep. Ken Buck of Colorado, did not cast a ballot. I think I was watching that part live. I don't know if he didn't cast a ballot or if he wasn't present, which I don't know why he wouldn't be present for the speaker vote. So McCarthy on the verge of losing the 9th speaker vote. See, some of this is old. I grabbed this because this was the only article I could find that was actually talking about the 9th and 10th vote. Let's see what's going on up here really quick.
Henson, McCarthy.
Yeah, they're still running through their vote. I'm going to leave this up so I can come back to it later. Oh, wait, actually, you keep running. Sorry. Hey, I need it to be quiet, though. So, can you...
Houlihan.
Hello?
Jeffries.
There we go. Sorry. So, let's look over here. This is basically a article I found just pretty much going over the representatives that are refusing, on the Republican side, that are refusing to vote for Kevin McCarthy as the Speaker of the House. Now, as I said earlier, half of this faction has a legitimate political strategy. What they're doing is they're like, look, we have leverage over Kevin McCarthy. They have leverage over Kevin McCarthy. So what they're doing is like, look, we're going to withhold these votes for now until we can get major concessions out of Kevin McCarthy. A lot of them are, members of the Freedom Caucus being put on the Judiciary Committee or the Oversight Committee. A lot of this is just committee spots, or, there was a notion to basically move, I believe, back up the number of representatives it takes to call a vote to remove the Speaker of the House. I believe he's given that up, and that's going to stay back at 1, which to me is a little weird. So if one person in the House goes, hey, I don't like that guy, now we have to have a full vote. So, I understand the reasoning for it, but the past threshold was 5. So, if you can't get 5 people to agree that this guy's a problem, he's probably not that much of a problem. Sorry, that's just my little take on it. So let's get into this. This is basically, so who are they? The anti-McCarthy brigade is united in their anti-establishment inclinations and unrelenting nature. At least 19 of the 20 holdouts belong to or have aligned with the Freedom Caucus, the most conservative bloc of the Republican Party conference and a frequent thorn on its side. Okay. Born out of the Tea Party movement in the late 2000s and early 2010s, the caucus is on the right of the party regularly denied and spared the then Speaker John Boehmer. I don't really care about that. I want to hear about who it is. So, and with Republicans holding out a 222 to 212 majority of the House, 5 noes were enough to keep the Speaker to halt his bid for the gavel. By December, a group of 5 never Kevins had emerged. Andy Biggs of Arizona, Matt Gaetz, I like him, Bob Good of Virginia, Matt Rosendale of Montana, and Ralph Norman of South Carolina. Now, the other ones I'm not very familiar with, but so image source, whatever. Since voting began on Tuesday, the camp of renegades has ballooned to 20 people. They have included HFC Chair Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, Lauren Boebert, she's good, Paul Gosser, also good, Andy Olgs, Paulina Luna, I think I know that name, Eli Crane, and Josh Beechin. Oh, and Keith Shelf of Texas. What do they want? The rebels in the party have suggested that McCarthy is too closely aligned with the broken system that will do little to change how Washington is governed. Now, okay, let's get back to what I was saying. Yes, half of them are using this as it's a common political strategy. I'm going to hold these votes you need until you give me what I want. But there's also, the 5 that they brought up here. There's no strategy. There's no long-term goal. They just don't want Kevin, and they're basically using these 5 votes, which is all they really need, to hold it up. And they're, I guess, hoping that 212 representatives changed, or yeah, 202 representatives changed their mind and decided to go with, oh man, who's the guy? I think it's Jim Jordan's. It just, look, I get it. I respect that you're like, I'm not voting for Kevin McCarthy. I respect that. But after a certain point, you have to look around, you have to read the room and go, I'm not going to get what I want here. I've made my point. We've broken over 100-year-old record by holding up this vote for so long. You made your point. At this point, you need to either go, I'm going to abstain from the vote and refuse to vote for Kevin McCarthy, or you just need to get behind Kevin McCarthy. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm not a big fan of Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy spoke out against Trump. He actively worked to stop that his administration's goals. And now, 2023, Trump is now backing Kevin McCarthy. He's actually endorsed him and saying, hey, you need to get Kevin McCarthy in the Speaker of the House and push this shit through. Sorry, I cussed. I was trying not to. But you need to get this done, But I respect the notion, but I'm losing more and more respect for Donald Trump. And I already know one person that watches my videos is going to have something to say about me talking bad about Papa Trump. I see you. But, I mean, bro, NFTs, that speech you gave to announce your candidacy was middling at best. And I don't know, maybe Trump's just tired. He's 80 years old, and maybe he's just gotten to the point where he's like, I just want to go play golf. They raided his house. They're holding these charges over his head. Maybe Trump has been like, you know what, man? Just make it stop. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I got to be president. I made my point. I'm one of the most famous people on the planet. Maybe he's retiring. Maybe he's ready to check out. I don't know. And hey, it's the right year. It's the primary year. So maybe this year Trump's going to come out with some, crazy campaign strategy that just flips everything on its head. Or, I've also heard rumblings that Hillary Clinton could be the next Democratic nominee for president again. If we get a repeat, if we get a repeat of 2016, I'm gonna freaking lose my mind because it's gonna be the most hilarious crap I've ever seen in my life. It's going to be awesome. I mean, that's just a loss. Now, I know I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody. They were saying, well, why don't we run Trump and DeSantis? And I'm like, well, you have two issues there. One, you lose the best Florida governor you could ask for. Now, who will be a successor? I'm sure they'll pick someone well. I mean, he would have to appoint someone. So I'm sure he would pick well. But now you're losing the biggest, the biggest driving force in Florida to stay red if you move him up to the VP spot. And again, with the animosity between Trump and DeSantis over the past few months, I don't know if that ticket is going to happen, even though it is a winning ticket. Trump DeSantis is absolutely, I don't care who you put up there. Trump DeSantis is a winning ticket. I'm sorry. So that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to run through what's going on in the House. I mean, the fact that this hasn't happened since 1860 is absolutely insane. Look at McCarthy's. So yeah. And whoa, I'm sorry. Off track. Bruh. Beefy. Sorry. The Republican. I couldn't help it. Republican rebel ignores Trump's call back to McCarthy. So yeah, I mean, and yeah, it's pretty much it's an absolute shit show. But I am here for it. Oh, this is the he looks happy. Oh, this is when he was going for himself. So yeah, this is an article I was going to read, but it didn't have anything about the 10th vote, and this has a live feed. So I want to check back in on this. Let's see what's going on.
McCall. McCarthy. McLean.
Is there a, hold on, can I?
McCarthy.
There's
McClintock.
no counter. Hold on.
McCarthy.
Yeah, there's no counter.
McCollum.
That's annoying.
Jeffries.
Yeah, so there's no counter at the moment. I would really like to know what the
McCormick.
score is, but I guess not.
McCarthy.
So, yeah, so it looks like this vote's going to wrap up pretty
McGarvey.
soon. I might,
Jeffries.
keep the recording going and
McGovern.
cut in the end just so y'all can
Jeffries.
see, the final score that came out of this
McHenry.
vote. I think I will do that. I'll do that. So I'm going to let the recording
McCarthy.
run, and I'll edit in the end
Meeks.
whenever they actually come to a decision, and we'll
Jeffries.
have that to talk about. But okay, guys, I had to go outside and do some stuff really quick, so I kind of lost the button up. I know it's jarring. It's gonna be fine. And I don't know if they said it or what. Maybe this lady here is still counting. I don't know. I got tired of waiting, so I went on the old phone here, looked around, and it is confirmed Kevin McCarthy did in fact lose the 10th ballot as well. It is confirmed that Kevin McCarthy did in fact lose the 10th ballot as well. So it looks like we're going to be going into another round of voting. I don't know if I'll make another video tomorrow just to cover it. Maybe if we get a decision, I'll do like maybe a short or something. But from what I could tell, I mean, it's kind of funny watching them once they, like, you know, think most people aren't watching, because they're just kind of milling around, a lot of conversations, joking, talking. That's kind of interesting to see. And I must have missed it. They must have said it while I was outside, because they haven't said a word, and it looks like they're still counting. But you know, when you're sitting in there and you've got, you know, 13 assistants and everybody's in your ear, I'm sure they know exactly what the vote count is, so they're not really worried about it because they know the answer, which is McCarthy has lost again. So we're gonna see how this plays out. I wanted to add, I was hoping they'd have like a graphic, like, you know, here's the score, but yeah, whatever. And I looked up a whole bunch of sites, CNN, CBS, Fox, NBC. No one has, this was the vote count, this is what happened, of course, because that's what I wanted. But McCarthy lost, so there's that. This one was just too interesting. I mean, since 1860 is the last time something like this has happened. So I mean, I couldn't pass up, you know, a chance to catch that, and figured I wanted to at least give my 2 cents about it. And hey, if you guys have any, you know, any clapbacks, if you think McCarthy is the right choice, or if you think, you know, something I said was wrong, please leave it in the comment. I'd love to have a discussion with somebody about this, because nobody wants to talk to me about it anymore. Everybody's like, Jordan, we're tired of your politics, man. We get it. And I understand that. So anyway, like I said, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to cut in the end of this whenever it does finally come around. It shouldn't be much longer. And then, you know, I might say something, but probably not. I'll probably just cut in so you guys can see what happened, and that'll be that for this week. You guys keep your eyes open, your ears to the ground. Stay safe out there. I'll see you next time.